Do you want to achieve all 4 of your medicine offers? Or think about studying in your dream university by next year? If this is the position that you want to be in, then this is the video for you. Now, one of the most important steps to interview success is knowing the content. In this video, we're going to be covering the NHS hot topic, considering the state of the NHS. We're going to be looking at the different problems that are currently affecting the NHS, and then how you can talk about these in your interviews to showcase that you have good medical knowledge. Hi, I'm Loveleen, a medical student at King's College London, here to help you with your interviews. Now, I completely understand how daunting and difficult interviews were, as I was in your position. But fast forward a couple of months, I went on to achieve all 4 of my offers with interview scores as high as 135 out of 140. And I'm here to help you do the same and achieve your dream of studying medicine. On my channel, I talk about all things relating to medicine, entrepreneurship, and mindset. Now, to help you, I've also created loads of different resources. First up is my Aspiring Medics newsletter for completely free resources. On this, I post loads of different tips relating to the journey of getting into medicine, especially around during UCAT season and interview season, and what you can be doing to help you achieve your dream of studying medicine. Additionally, one of the key reasons that I was actually able to get all 4 of my offers was my interview document. This is an over 50-page document in which I've included all of the content that you need to know, ethical pillars, over 100 different types of questions, and also the NHS hot topics and research. If you're interested in this, make sure to check it out using the link below. Additionally, if you want more personalized support with helping you get your 4 out of 4 offers and studying medicine at your dream uni, then check out my interview course. Again, as part of this interview course, you get personalized, tailored learning given to you about all the content, learning how you should actually be structuring your interview responses, what your interviewers want from you when you're doing a med school interview, and the art of speaking and presentation, because this is so important in helping you secure your offers and get into medicine. So GP services are a type of primary care. Primary care is typically care that is given in the community, and this is the first port of call for patients to come to in most cases. From GP services, typically patients are then directed to secondary or tertiary care services if required. However, there are some problems that have been arising within healthcare relating to primary care, as there has been increasing pressures in GP healthcare, and additionally there are a range of different reasons as to why there are some challenges in primary care. Currently in the UK, we have an aging population. What this means is that a greater proportion of the population are getting older or above the age of 60 to 65. This means that typically this age bracket, they often do have more healthcare requirements or more complex care, which means that they may need more healthcare appointments and GP appointments. However, currently in the UK, we have had a problem in the recruitment of more GPs and also shutting down of practices. This means that it's become more difficult to get an appointment, even though there is an increasing need for them, and this has resulted in longer waiting lists, and sometimes it's difficult to get on the phone to a GP or to book appointments. Now, a solution for this could just be to hire more GPs, but unfortunately it's not as simple as that. So as a result of this, medical schools have tried to incorporate teaching about GP more into their curriculums. This means that medical students have a greater understanding into GP, and means more of them may actually be inclined to pick it as a specialty option. This would then create more positions and more GPs in the UK, alleviating that pressure. Additionally, having recruitments from outside of the UK, so international doctors come in and also work within the UK, could again help to alleviate pressure and ensure that we actually do have enough doctors in the UK to meet the needs of everyone. Another solution that is a great idea is increasing funding, not just for GPs, but also for supporting allied healthcare professionals. This is because not just GPs could see patients, but additionally pharmacists, physiotherapists, and other allied healthcare professionals could also see patients and help them with their concerns too, again alleviating pressures of just GP significantly. Is 10 minutes enough for a GP consultation? In the UK, many GPs often face pressure in order to see a large volume of patients every day, and some data has shown that some GP practices have to see up to 60 patients a day, which is almost more than double the safe number that is deemed. Now, as a result of this, patients may not feel as satisfied from consultations. They may only have time to discuss one problem, when in reality they wanted to have a longer discussion, and sometimes even doctors themselves may not feel satisfied that they've been able to cover everything in detail. This is an important consideration to have in your medicine interviews, as you need to be able to think critically of maybe possible different solutions to make sure that each patient is getting enough time and patients don't feel as if they're being rushed throughout their consultation appointments. However, it's important to highlight that it's not just the length of the consultation that's important. Even a short consultation could be highly beneficial for both patient and doctor, as long as a clear care plan has been created and both healthcare professional and patient understand what the next steps are. Even this could lead to high satisfaction. Ambulance services are really important within the NHS, as they're often used if a patient is in in a situation where they themselves may not be able to take themselves to A&E, an ambulance can be used for immediate care to bring them to a hospital setting where they then can receive the right care that they need to. Ambulances have 4 different types of emergencies that they need to respond to. So there are 4 categories. Category 4 is for a patient who has a non-urgent requirement and non-urgent need for an ambulance. This works its way up all the way to Category 1, which is a life-threatening condition and requires an ambulance immediately. Now, one of the ways to measure essentially the effectiveness of ambulance is the response time taken, meaning how long is an ambulance taking to respond to either a Category 1, 2, 3 or 4 call that a patient has made. One problem that is occurring is that the waiting times and the response time for ambulances has been increasing. So for the Category 1 to 4 calls that patients are making, unfortunately the time taken for an ambulance to arrive may be increasing. One of the reasons for this is because within hospitals there is a shortage of beds, as there are more patients remaining within hospitals that are not able to leave due to different reasons. As a result, this creates a knock-on effect because this means new admissions can't be made. This means that when ambulances do arrive, they have to wait for much longer before they can leave a patient in the hospital and then go out and seek another call and help another patient. As a result of this, this is what is causing a slight increase in the time taken for ambulances to respond to calls from other patients. One of the ways that this issue is being addressed is that the government has increased funding for ambulance services. This means that response calls can be managed in a much quicker time. Additionally, after COVID, there was an increase in the number of waiting lists, and this has caused a backlog, often leading to hospitals being a lot more busier and there being more beds taken up, leading to that shortage of beds. As a result as well, it's important that healthcare professionals are working to try to reduce and work against that backlog that was created by COVID-19, unfortunately. Another challenge that the NHS is currently facing is waiting times. This is something that was exacerbated significantly due to COVID-19, especially for non-urgent care or for elective surgery and these different areas. As a result, this has created a backlog and a lot of patients are being seen a lot later than they should be, and it's causing a lot of pressure on healthcare professionals because they're having to try to see a lot more patients to catch up with that backlog that was created during COVID. Focusing on A&E times, research has been shown that typically the waiting time for A&E has increased, and one way of measuring whether the waiting times in A&E are efficient or not is that there are different number of hours depending on the severity of a patient case and if they're a Category 1, 2, 3 or 4, how quickly they should be seen. Unfortunately, a lot of these targets and deadlines have been missed, and as a result of that, this has led to a lot more waiting times in A&E. Another example to look at is cancer waiting times. Typically, when a cancer patient is seen a GP, the ideal waiting time and referral time to see a consultant should be 2 weeks. However, unfortunately, due to mounting pressures on the NHS from things such as the COVID-19 backlog, this has meant that the deadline again has been harder to meet. Another aspect to consider is consultant-led elective care. Findings have shown that the number of people increased on the waiting list for consultant-led elective care, and additionally the BMA have also expressed concerns that there may be a hidden backlog that has been created, especially after COVID, for people who typically would have presented themselves who had a certain condition or certain concerns but haven't, again due to COVID-19 and the backlog that has created, leading to much more pressure on consultant-led elective care services. I hope this video has helped to give you a good understanding of the current state of the NHS and some of the challenges that it may be facing at the moment and some potential future solutions too. A lot of the information I've taken and included in this video, including the stats, the research and the figures, has been taken from online websites such as the BMA. So if you want more information to specific statistics, make sure to check it out on there too. To learn more about the other NHS hot topics and medicine interview content, make sure to check out the other videos on my channel.